I want to take the next few minutes to share with you 4 types of portfolios that I believe will not only guarantee you a recurrent stream of passive income, but will also ensure that you create and preserve your wealth for generations. And I'll start with the first one. And the first one is a lifestyle portfolio. And many of us tend to call it retirement portfolio. I call it lifestyle portfolio because you need it from the day you get your first paycheck. You need to work on it from the day you start getting your first paycheck. Everybody, from the richest to the poorest, needs some basic essentials: food, shelter, and clothing. And the goal of the lifestyle portfolio or your retirement portfolio, as Richard has quite clearly articulated here, is to make sure that you take care of these basic essentials. When you don't get these basic essentials, you lose your dignity. Have you ever wondered, very early in the morning when you drive through the city, why some people sleep on the streets and they don't care about security? They do something that you cannot do. Is because when you don't have food, clothing, shelter, you lose your dignity and you don't care about security. Nothing else matters. So a lifestyle portfolio is supposed to help you to take care of these basic essentials. At some point in our life cycle, whether we like it or not, your salary, your business income will come to an end or will be disrupted and diminish materially, whether you like it or not. To prepare for that day, you must set up your lifestyle portfolio from the very first check that you get. The ultimate goal of this kind of portfolio is to gradually wean you off from your active salary or business income to a point where your basic essentials become fully funded by your passive income. Let me repeat that. The ultimate goal of a lifestyle portfolio is to gradually wean you off your active salary or business income to a point where your basic essentials become fully funded by your passive incomes. So, how do you build a lifestyle portfolio? And there are 4 important questions that you must answer with the help of your money manager. The first question is, how much money do you need to survive in a month as a family? A lot of us get into these pension schemes, retirement plans, without really asking these questions. We really contribute because we are required by the government, we are required by the employer. But we really don't start with this fundamental question: how much money do you need to survive as a family in a month? The second question is, what size of portfolio do you need to generate that kind of income on a monthly basis? Okay? What kind of portfolio do you need to generate that kind of monthly income on a monthly basis? And the third question that you need to answer with your money manager is, how much money are you able to contribute on a monthly basis to your lifestyle or retirement portfolio? Okay? So how much money can you afford to contribute? And the fourth and final question that you must ask yourself, how long will it take for you to achieve your target portfolio? A retirement or lifestyle portfolio is typically conservative, meaning you can't take too much risk with it. Therefore, the largest portion of your portfolio is likely to go to fixed income like securities, like government, treasury, bills, and bonds. And depending on your age profile or the age profile of your scheme, your money manager could add some equity and real estate to enhance your overall yield or the overall yield of your portfolio in order to accelerate your meeting of the target size of the portfolio. So we just ran some numbers as a team and said, and came up with these very rough numbers, so don't take them literally. If you have 1 million shillings, you can be able to generate 6,000 shillings on a monthly basis with a very conservative return of about 9%. So if your family maybe spends requires 100,000 Uganda shillings or Kenya shillings, you need to save. You need to have a target portfolio of about 14 to 15 million shillings. So you need to work with your money manager on how you'll be able to save on a consistent basis, and over a period of time, you get to the 14 to 15 million, and now you're fully weaned off your active income. And there are many more examples that I can give. So what are the benefits of having a lifestyle portfolio, especially when you start early? Number one, a lifestyle portfolio is the first and most significant step towards achieving true financial freedom. And the word financial freedom, or the phrase financial freedom, tends to be used in a cliche manner, but we actually found it a formula of how you can actually get there. And the first step is to really put together your lifestyle portfolio. The second benefit is you completely delink your family from over-reliance on your monthly income or your monthly paycheck. The third benefit, even in your absence or disability, your family will never go hungry. The fourth benefit, which I really like, you go to work because you love it, not because you have to pay bills. Yeah? The fifth benefit is that managing your lifestyle portfolio or your retirement portfolio is stress-free. Once you entrust NSSF with your money, you do not need to do anything else on a day-to-day basis. That allows your money to work for you. So I would like to conclude on this, and we could engage a little bit more after this. A lifestyle portfolio is not just for people who are about to retire. And I noted the people in this room, we are missing a young generation. I don't know, Richard, is it by design? But there's a tendency for young people to imagine that retirement is very far. But you need to begin from your first paycheck. Let me go to the second type of portfolio that you must have. And this one is called the security portfolio. A security portfolio. The number one cause for family bankruptcies in the US, at least where it is known, is medical bills. The number one cause for family bankruptcies in the US is medical bills. I am not aware of any statistics in Africa, but I firmly believe that the truth could not be, I firmly believe it couldn't be further from the truth, given the number of communal pooling of funds that we are often invited to support our friends and families when they are deceased or they are going through a very expensive medical medical check or experience. The challenge with medical bills is that they touch on our loved ones, and therefore they touch on the deepest part of our hearts, and therefore they pose the greatest risk to your lifestyle portfolio. You could have worked so hard to build your 14 million Uganda shilling portfolio or your 50 million Uganda shilling portfolio. Then when your mother falls sick, guess what? You will not spare a coin, and it's all gone. Okay? That's one reason why you need to have a security portfolio. Another observation that we've made is education is a disruptive force in your pursuit for decent passive income. 9 out of 10 of our clients, individual clients, they tell us that their most pressing need is education. Parents are even willing to compromise on their standards of living to give their children access to quality education. If your children happen to finish school just when you are about to retire, it is very easy to find that the most of your active income was consumed in their education, and thereby condemning you to becoming dependent on your children. Unfortunately, some children do not turn out to be good. They actually turn out to be reckless and unappreciative. So you cannot bank on your children. You cannot bank on your... I know in Africa we tend to say, when you invest in your children, you're investing for the future. It is turning to prove us, a couple of us are quite wrong, right? So, education is one of the things that we've seen has sort of blindsided many of us in our pursuit for passive income. Desire for home ownership is another one. And it was so interesting to see the statistics that when people get their paycheck from their retirement plan, that the most common thing is to put it in home ownership or improve their homes. So, desire for home ownership is a common pitfall in your financial planning. Sometimes we end up committing to very expensive long-term mortgages which compromise our ability to save and invest purposefully towards our future. It is very possible, by the way, to sleep hungry while living in an affluent neighborhood. There is this assumption that if you live in a rich neighborhood, you cannot lack food, right? But it's very easy to find yourself in a palace with no money to eat, no money to buy food. So, it is not uncommon to find investment in homes to be our single largest asset in our personal portfolios. And I liked what Richard said, liabilities. Because they are either low yielding or zero yielding. If you happen to live in them, they are zero yielding. Yet it is your single largest investment. And that's a time bomb, for sure. A security portfolio is designed to cater for this type of potentially disruptive, high value expenditure lines, which could throw your lifestyle or your retirement plans into chaos. Let me repeat that. A security portfolio is designed to cater for this type of potentially disruptive, high-value expenditure lines, which could throw your lifestyle or retirement plans into chaos. Let me give an example. I have 3 boys, and they go to an international school in Nairobi, and I pay between $6,000 to $10,000 a year for each. And one day I just sat in my office and I said, how much will I spend on each child from KG1 to grade 12? It was coming to a whopping 14 million shillings. And the number scared me. It means it's 14 million times 3. Okay? So I challenged my team. I asked them, how much money do I need to invest to take care of this problem? And they came up with a matrix that showed if I invested 8 million shillings in an education purposed portfolio, I would be able to take my children, each of my sons, from KG1 to grade 12 and still have 7.1 million shillings in my portfolio. And ladies and gentlemen, that's the power of goal-based investing. So, if my wife announced tomorrow that she is pregnant, I know I have another 8 million shillings to look for. So, but it's important. And this is how wealthy people invest. Wealthy people invest purposefully, not just for the sake of investing. Even education, they invest for education, not necessarily an education policy. It's a big industry in the US. Let me come to my third type of portfolio. We've done 2: lifestyle portfolio and security portfolio. The third portfolio is called aspirational portfolio.